You know, I look out at all of you in this room today and folks walking through the exhibit hall, and I think that in human history, seldom has there been a meeting quite like this. A voluntary gathering of people that are so devoted, so loyal, so fearless, so involved, so self-reliant, determined, patriotic. A gathering, and you know we are, of all ages, all political parties, races, all religions. A gathering of people who just love our great nation. Not just those of us in this room right now, but the 5 million NRA members that you represent, and the thousands more watching right now online, and hundreds of thousands of good Americans who will see this speech online. Millions of Americans who are sitting right now and watching the world around them with minds to comprehend and the courage to act. Millions of kindred spirits bound by a love of country and a reverence, an awe, an obsession, even addiction for human freedom. That describes all of you. It also describes the National Rifle Association of America and the millions of Americans, good people, who share a love of our constitutional freedom. There is no other organization in the world quite like the National Rifle Association. No institution that every day is so alert and is so vigilant. It's so unafraid to take a stand for what we know in our hearts is good and right. History's toughest tests have revealed that we, the people of the NRA, represent the very best of America's character and the very best of America's strength. We tell the truth about what we believe, and we stand up for the values that we hold dear in our hearts. We are, and throughout history, we have always been the good guys. You live it every day. We believe in America and all that she stands for. And when it comes to defending American values and American freedom, we fight and we win. Because no one fights harder, no one fights stronger, longer, or smarter than the NRA. Now, some of you may have heard about Michael Bloomberg. Yeah. Last week, he gave a big interview to the New York Times, and then he went on to Today's Show. Bloomberg vowed to spend $50 million to beat us in November. He said he would do everything he could with all of his $50 million to confront and defeat the NRA. Well, here's the NRA, and here's what we have to say about that.
Michael Bloomberg says he has $50 million to attack my gun rights. Well, I have $25 to protect them.
I've got $25.
I've got $25 too.
So do I.
I do too.
And me too.
I'm a mom, and I do too.
Me too.
Me too.
For my 2 daughters, I do too.
This guy thinks he can scare us into running from a fight to protect our rights and our freedoms. He's one guy with millions. We're millions with our $25. Let's see who crushes who.
We're just people all over the heartland of this country, every city, every town, every block. We're the good guys who wake up every single morning and we get our kids off to school. We put on a police or a firefighter uniform. We work the farms or go into the factories. We volunteer for Little League, and we take our families to church. We put food on the table, and we tuck them in with a prayer every night. We're the good guys who still hold our hands over our hearts and sing the national anthem. We're the good guys who still open doors for each other, respect our elders, and don't just remember the golden rule, we try to live by it every single day. When it comes to the brave men and women who sacrifice so much to serve in our armed forces, we're the good guys who honestly admire and go out of our way to honor them as the real American heroes that they are. We're the good guys, good, decent, honest men and women who look at the world around us and shake our heads in sad disbelief and can't help but wonder, what in the world has gone wrong with our country? Everywhere you look, something has gone wrong. You feel it in your heart. Something is just not right. The core values that we believe in, the things we care about most, are slipping away. Our entire national character is changing, as if the values we've always lived by and counted on no longer matter, no longer somehow seem in too many places to make a difference. You all know what I'm talking about. Values like truth, honesty, kindness, virtue, generosity, humility, mutual respect, plain decency, bedrock values that have always been the key to our society, all now in too many places, in too many ways, seem to be eroding out from under us. And we sit and we wonder and fear what it means for our nation. What does it say about a country that teaches its children to lie? Because, and you know this, in the world that surrounds us, lying is in and the truth means little. The best politicians, the most successful media celebrities, seem to be most skilled at masking and twisting the truth, deceiving the public just to advance their own agendas. Our children see that, and they quickly learn to lie to your parents, or lie to your teachers, their bosses, their spouses, even to themselves. Dishonesty is the path to the top, where the best lies are called spin, and the buck just never seems to stop. What does it say about a country that demands that we submit to the powerful political elites, surrender our values, and believe in nothing? Because we are surrounded, as we sit here right now in this room, by a world where the yes men turn their heads when the boss breaks the rules, where cowards don't help the fallen elderly man or walk right past the crying child who's clearly too young to be there alone. What does it say about a country that has lost its civility, responsibility, and virtue? We're surrounded by a world where too many bosses bully and belittle anyone beneath them, where the road somehow seems to belong to the angriest among us, where even some soccer parents, and you've all seen this, unleash an unimaginable behavior even against their own kids from time to time, where anger destroys trust and teamwork, and given time, our nation. What does it say about a country that no longer values moms and dads like it used to? In the world that around us, for too many, being a parent means no longer being there, where text and emails somehow make up for absence. What does it say about a country where madmen are famous and good guys are forgotten, where crimes go unpunished, leaving criminals to prey upon the innocent who follow the rules, where tax collectors are turned into secret police for the government, where doors are locked in fear and playgrounds silent, where the gates of success swing open for the hypocrites, chameleons, bullies, and liars. What does it say about a country in which the law has become an instrument wielded by those in power? How can good, decent Americans be expected to have faith in law and order if the law is selectively enforced, if the law is changed at the whims of the powerful, if the law is used for the advantage of the political elites and the disadvantage of the rest of us? How can citizens respect laws in a nation in which those laws are so unequally and arbitrarily applied? The character of our nation and all of our values are at risk. These aren't old values. These aren't new values. These are the core freedoms and core values that have always defined us as a nation. Our right to speak, our right to gather, our right to privacy, the freedom to work and practice our religion and raise our families the way we see fit. You know what I mean? The freedom to live as good, honest, decent Americans, to liberty, to live and believe as we choose, as individuals sanctified in personal freedom, the freedom that only comes through the Second Amendment to the U.S. Constitution and the Bill of Rights, to live without fear, to live without tyranny, as responsible, good people who exercise our individual right to keep and bear arms, to defend our families, our communities, and our nation. For what I've just said, the political and media elites will mock us. They'll call our notion of individual freedom out of date. They'll joke about us and the millions and millions and millions of Americans just like all of you in this room today who still believe in core American values. They'll say we're old-fashioned, out of step in these international, global community times. Let me tell you something. We aren't out of date. We aren't out of step. We are Americans. We know a country that turns its back on its values and principles that have always made it great is a country that is losing its soul and on the brink of destroying itself from within. As NRA members, we stand and fight for what all Americans want, unashamed of our moral compass and unashamed of our national patriotism, unflinching in defense of one unifying principle: individual freedom for all. As good Americans, as good guys and gals who still believe in what this country must stand for, we will stand together and fight for all of our values, and we will stand and fight for all of our freedoms. Our nation's founding fathers carefully crafted a Bill of Rights, an articulation of personal liberties, to weave an entire fabric of core values for a free society. When any of those freedoms anywhere are threatened, they must be defended and they must be protected everywhere. So, to preserve our values and protect our freedom, America needs the good guys to step up all over this country like never before. That's us. That's us. We are the good guys who will not stand idly by as the dishonest and political and media elites strip away our values. The National Rifle Association, all that we believe in and fight for, has become a metaphor for the core American freedoms we all want preserved. The NRA is where you resist and stand for moral character and stand for a better country. Standing with the NRA is a massive declaration of individual rights, an unwavering determination to ensure the survival of everything that you cherish. Our struggle to save this nation and its core principles is a noble one. It doesn't get any nobler. As like-minded people coming together to protect and defend what you know makes us free. We are exactly what our founding fathers were and what our founding fathers envisioned us to be. The NRA, the good old National Rifle Association, is America's national movement to restore core American values. Yep. And that's why we're so proud of it, to preserve our individual freedom. It's our national campaign to save and to take back a really great country. When I finished writing this speech, I showed it to several people, and they said, "Wayne, the NRA needs to say this on television," and so it will be.
Do you still believe in the good guys?
Because you are surrounded by a world where madmen are famous and good ones forgotten. Doors are locked and streets have gone silent.
Where the gates to success swing open for hypocrites, chameleons, bullies, and yes men.
Where filthy crimes go unpunished, and killers and con artists prey upon anyone who still follows the rules.
The good guys are a lie, they laugh. Everyone's corrupted.
What do you believe?
Do you believe in people who would rather fail honestly than lie to get ahead?
Do you believe in those who reach out to help, even while they're free to turn their backs? The teacher whose best lesson makes a one-time cheater a last-time cheater.
The parents who work 2 jobs, raise 3 kids, sit in school boards, town halls, and church pews because you can't teach values you don't live yourself.
The soldier who gives up his life for his brothers to live theirs. It takes courage to be free.
A special kind of backbone to reject the world that surrounds you.
To sign your name where everyone can see it.
To believe that there is always a right choice and an honest consequence.
That's what it means to believe in America. It's time to believe in the good guys again.
We are the 5 million men and women of the National Rifle Association of America. Join us.
Join us.
Join us today.
You know what? Ours is a national movement. Right now, it's sweeping the country in homes, in churches, in coffee houses, in PTA meetings. It's a national movement that's building toward the November elections. It's going to be fought on every street corner. It's going to be fought in every county. where good Americans live and work and volunteer and campaign. The political and media elites, they intend to finish the job, to fulfill their commitment, their dream of fundamentally transforming America into an America that, if they succeed, you won't recognize. But mark my words, the NRA and millions and millions and millions of NRA members and supporters and people just like them that have those same values will not go quietly into the night. We will fight. Our struggle has already begun, and it's going to continue through this November. And let there be absolutely no doubt about it, we will be there at the polls in November, and in the November after that, and we won't rest until November of 2016, not until we've stood up as America's good guys and taken back the White House. So let's talk to the country right now. Any American who is worried about this country, who feels the slipping away of our core values, who believes something has to be done to change the direction of our nation before all is lost, the NRA is your refuge. It's your place to stand and fight alongside Americans that feel in their heart just like you do, for all that is good and right. And I make this solemn promise to everyone who hears me. If we join together as good and decent and strong-hearted Americans, if we rise up and resist, we will help lead this nation through the dark night to the dawn of an America that's renewed in truth, justice, opportunity, hope, and individual liberty for all. I challenge every American to rise up every day in ways that are large and in ways that are small. Stand up for the values and the freedoms that have always defined America in your homes, in your families, your neighborhoods, your communities, in your work, in your leisure time. Take a stand in the world that surrounds you. A stand for your love of your country and your unwavering commitment to save it. We are the good guys, and to reclaim our values and take back our country, to save our great American freedom, we will stand and we will fight. Thank you very much, and let's save this country together.